Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Coming live from 1950 South Shepherd here in Helltown, El Ghetto. I would say Pivawilla, Nyakit, Janet, but that opportunity has already came and went. It was kind of a slow start today. I can only perform like maybe half of putting together the equipment.
Mhm.
So I just had to get out of the way and allow Carmelo to kind of finish putting it. But at that point, I'm already frustrated. Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna do it. I give up.
I actually enjoy getting it ready. So
Oh well,
if
that's
you need
cool.
help, let me
Yeah,
know.
let me get out the way. Let me stay out your way.
You're the star.
Nah.
You're in front of the camera. Behind it.
I'm a diva. Get it ready for me and call me when it's showtime.
Yeah.
Well, my nephew Aaron feeds me grapes and rubs my feet, huh, Aaron? Well, here we are. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good, busy. Let Josie have a sleepover.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, just tried to really. I've been trying to make an effort to do more things with her and not just do mother duties. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But actually like check in with her and like sit down, put my phone away and all that. So
that's cool.
we did that. We went swimming. Yesterday was a more I don't know. Yesterday was not a great day, but the moon is back in the microwave. So
Mm.
in
I don't know what that
retrograde,
means, but
it's a full moon is coming, and it's not scientifically proven that that affects us, but it does affect something.
Okay, yeah. I guess I believe that there's a lot of things that we did when the moon was full.
Mhm.
I think one of the things that I was told is that that's when people cut their hair.
Really?
Is whenever the moon's full.
Mm.
What the significance of that is, I have no idea. I it might be that it grows back faster,
Okay.
but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just heard that before, and that was just overhearing something I probably shouldn't have. You
Hey,
know.
like I'm not really sure exactly about the moon, but I just feel it, you know what I mean? And so there have been many studies done. Oh, okay. Nat said Mercury is in retrograde. I said the moon. That's true.
Now y'all's getting deep.
Mercury is back in the microwave.
I didn't wear my boots today, so we can't get that deep.
Okay. But yeah,
Just kidding.
I just had a rough time yesterday, but I knew that I needed to get outside, exercise my body, and so we did. We bought some stuff from the store that we didn't need because sometimes you just have to go buy
Oh
some
yeah, splurge.
candy and some
Self care.
toys. Yeah. And then I did my meditation meeting last night on Zoom. So
That's cool. How does that usually go? Like,
it's a curriculum called Mind Body Medicine, and
okay.
it's with some women. They're all from like up north, like North Dakota, South Dakota.
Mm.
I like did my check in last night, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm the only one way down here in Oklahoma. Like,
Yeah.
but it's
Only one burning up.
yeah, it's cool. I've connected with this like group of women that are all over just through this Zoom meeting, and it be basically we've done all different kinds of meditation, like soft belly, just soft belly, which is very general. We've
Yeah.
done um, food meditation, so like you
Wow.
eat something. So like we all grabbed a piece of fruit and we ate it, and then we kind of like checked in with our body after to see like
Mm-hmm.
how that felt, the taste, the smell. We were talking about like five
Mm-hmm.
senses. And last night was a shake and dance meditation, so it's how to get that.
Give us an example.
It's like shaking the trauma from your body and
Bust it down, Tatiana.
no. I already told you I was embarrassed doing it in my own house.
All by yourself?
Yeah.
He's probably all
That's exactly
hands on
what
your knees. Look like a tired stripper.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Well, that's cool. And so self care comes in many forms.
Mhm.
And it's always great to hear other people's experiences. Just being a little vulnerable.
Yeah.
And the introduction of wellness. Like you were saying, how it makes you feel, what it tastes like. Like these are senses that everybody has. Well, most just about everybody.
Mhm.
But I believe when they don't have one sense, then the others are like two times stronger.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting to hear, what healing sounds and looks and taste and like all these different variations of wellness.
Mhm. And it's different for everyone.
Yeah, different for everybody. All of y'all may have had a different experience by doing the same thing.
Right.
So I love hearing about you being involved in your own sobriety or recovery in that way.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool.
There's a solution. There's different solutions for everything, in like being in recovery. And no matter what I do, like I try to make it a positive choice.
Definitely.
Meaning, like you said, self care, going for a walk, like you can heal in so many ways. So
For sure. And I'm a big fan, whenever I was after losing my son and tired of the drug use and the alcohol consumption, like at that point, I'm doing whatever drug was in front of me. I'm smoking PCP, like I'm dropping mushrooms, like I'm doing anything. I'm snorting pills,
mhm.
eating Xanny. Like, I mean, anything went. And I remember just so many times where I just got tired of running, like you're running from emotion. Anytime I sat down, I would literally fall asleep.
Really.
Like that's how like on the go I was.
Mhm.
Just trying to run. Anytime I sat down for like 5 minutes, like I would start crying, and I'd be in a room full of people and nobody would even notice that I was crying, So like there'd been so many times where I would just take off walking,
Mhm.
like, man, like I'd walk all over El Reno, in the middle of the night. No like destination in mind, just clearing my mind, just going and going and going until like I had to take a rest, and then I would go back to my aunt's house and sit on the couch and I would just like fall out,
Mhm.
and I see how like it would like that, just getting my blood flowing,
Yeah.
like that would really help me, and it helped with the grief, it helped with the depression, it helped with so many different aspects of what was going on with me mentally.
Mhm.
So I seen that well before I ever even got into recovery. I seen the positive effects that walking had on my life.
So that benefited you,
Yeah,
even though you were like
and I didn't.
crashing out at the end of
Yeah, I
it.
didn't realize at that moment like how much it was helping me.
Mhm.
I just knew that if I walked, like I didn't think about ending my own life as much.
Yeah.
So I get it. I completely understand. Like, and you gotta like you got to try all these different ways.
Right.
I never thought I would like yoga. Sitting in my own thoughts for meditation more than a minute. It didn't happen.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't a part of my belief system. The breathing works. Like all the different things that when you open up your mind, you open up your heart
Yes.
and you start feeling things, you start seeing things, and you start understanding things with your heart. And that self-care, that's been the key to my sobriety, is self-care. And I'm not afraid to try anything new.
Mhm.
So what, I'm sitting there looking like a tired stripper in the mirror all by myself at my you know but if that's what it's got to look like, then So be it.
Yep.
So be it. I could never hate on, anybody that wants to improve, their self, their self-care, their, whatever their physical, their mental, their emotional, or their spiritual, you know, uh, whatever it's got to look like for a person. So I'm real glad to hear that, you found something that interests you and all of y'all have something in common, and forming those bonds, those connections.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, right?
Hmm.
Those connections. So, do we have any comments?
We do, but I just want to shout out Cynthia from Mind. She's a mind body medicine
Oh,
facilitator.
hey.
She is Oglala, and is it Oglala Soup?
Yeah, Oglala soup.
Yes. No, her husband is. But anyways. That's what she identifies with.
Oh, that's cool.
And so,
Yeah, because you always follow your husband. That's how we believe. Cheyenne way. Is that when Janet married that Arapaho guy, then now she's Arapaho. You know? And that's okay. That's all right. Like she's Arapaho now.
Mhm.
So, oh well.
But
Yeah.
she's doing a lot of work for a lot of women. It's there's the cool thing about it too is like there's alcoholics in there, there's domestic violence survivors,
Oh
there's
yeah.
sexual assault survivors. Like there's
Wow.
a wide variety of women in recovery, and that's what I want for my women's group.
Definitely.
And so like I feel like I can take from that and also give.
For sure. For sure. And that's what it's kind of about.
Yeah.
Do y'all give like is anybody leading the class or is it kind of y'all meet up and if somebody has a good idea or do y'all follow a format or
Yeah, so it's like it's based on the mind body medicine curriculum.
okay.
Like it's actually like
Yeah, a
like
set curriculum.
yeah, and then so Cynthia is the one who runs every Sunday night,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also Paul, I believe is his name. He is the one who started the meeting.
Okay, so it's not an all women exclusive group.
Right, but on Sunday nights
On
it is.
Sunday nights it is.
And then Sunday mornings at I believe it's 10:30 our time is an open group.
Okay.
I will share that information and then maybe have
Yeah, put
Marion
it in
share
the
it to.
comments when we get done or something.
Yeah, I can do that.
So that's pretty cool.
It's been really nice. How was your weekend though?
It was laid back. We went to St. Paul, kind of trying to get back into the groove. Got back. Got came to work Friday, and honestly, just kind of broke. Like
Ate out too much or what?
well, some traveling expenses, and then we're getting reimbursed.
Oh, okay.
So like spent the last of my last on trying to. Well, I went and got my kids, Johnny and Penelope, and they came over Friday night, and then they came over Saturday, and just trying to do, and they don't. Of course, they always want to go to the movies or they want to do fun stuff, but I mean, what I've realized is that they just want to be with me,
Mm.
So kind of. Well, then my nephew came over, and me and him had a good talk. Kind of took up a lot of my time on Saturday, but my kids just they just want to be around their dad, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
So and then we always go out for ice cream before I take them home.
That's nice.
So that's kind of our thing that we do. So yeah, it was nice, kind of thinking about while talking to my nephew, he's kind of been struggling a little. And it was like, just talking to him made me realize like I'm a lucky guy.
Mm.
I get to spend time with my kids, and they get to come over to my place. I remember a time in my life where, you know, none of that was possible.
Right.
None of that was even in the thought process of me going to see them. So, I can appreciate it today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, all in all, it wasn't the most exciting weekend. But then again, like it was very fulfilling because I had my kids with
That's cool.
me. Yeah,
That's good. I'm glad you had a good
yeah, it was a good
weekend.
weekend.
It's fun to like find different ways to have fun. My grandma was always like, "Stop thinking that you have to go spend money on her. Like that's not what it's about."
Yeah,
And
never.
so we find creative little ways at home to we paint, we play charades. That's a big one we like to do with like all my brothers, you know. We do guess the lyrics on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, just a few little different
Yeah,
things that we like to do. But I'll check in with these comments. Or Aaron, would you like to read the comments for us?
go ahead, Aaron. Let it rip.
Producer.
You gotta speak into the mic clearly.
Yeah, pull the mic closer to you.
Let it rip.
The third one down. You don't have to
Yeah,
read
yeah.
our
Just
comments where it says Nat. Oh, I already read Nat's comment.
yeah. Just start from under Nats and read all the way down. You got to say their name.
Yeah.
Cassandra said, "Good afternoon, fam. Good to see y'all."
Good afternoon.
Good
David
afternoon.
said, "Good afternoon." Leslie said, "Good morning, bro. Barry. I love you."
Stone Cold David. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it.
Carlos said, "Detective Barry and his spy glass."
You know it. You know it.
Rossi said, "Good afternoon. How are you?"
Good afternoon. Nyakit. Nyakit. Well, it's not even morning, but Ititi Nakusei.
Drew said, "Good afternoon."
Good afternoon, little brother.
afternoon.
Anessa said, "Good afternoon."
Good afternoon, Nessie. Loch Ness Monster.
Laura said, "Hello, my brother and sister."
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Natalie said, "I went to vote Saturday and almost got caught up in the
Oh, yeah. She almost floated home.
Oh no.
Yeah, she went to go vote for the Seminole elections, I guess, were this weekend. And so, I'm like, she's like, "Are you going?" And I'm like, "Nah."
You didn't want to get out now.
Nah, I didn't want to get out. Like I said, it was a lazy weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes off and then she comes back like, "Oh my God." Like I kept wanting to pull over and something told me to just keep going and she outran the storm and then she was home for about 30 minutes before it hit El Reno.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, she said, and then we're seeing all the posts
Yeah.
about the flooding and people that were trying to drive through that, that flood water.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she almost got caught up in it, but thankfully she didn't.
I'm glad she made it home. We decided to go do some laundry. So I have the tallest laundry basket. It's about as big as Josie. And I'm trying to we're going down the stairs and I'm like, is that rain? And it is just
Yeah.
pouring. And so I go start driving down Sunset and I panicked because I couldn't see anything. Just driving down Sunset, I'm like going over into the left lane. So I went to the coffee shop and Josie's like, "Coffee, Mom? Really? Right now?" And I didn't want to tell her that I was scared, I didn't know. But yeah, just the my nerves driving in that. So, but I'm still getting my coffee though, and then by that time the rain had let up a little bit,
Hmm.
so it was easier to see. But it was crazy, Nat. I'm glad you made it through that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, normal Oklahoma weather.
For real.
And it don't matter how much you've been in it, like it never prepares you for the next time.
No, and the rain like that was wild.
Yeah. So, well, there's a lot of flooding that went on. And I seen where Texas was flooding again.
Really?
Yes, man. That I just feel so bad for them people.
Me too.
I used to live in New Braunfels, which is right outside between Austin and San Antonio. There's San Marcos. I think there's Kyle, and I can't think of the Boo. Well, anyways, there's like two little bitty towns, and then it goes San Marcos, and then I used to live in New Braunfels.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you live in New Braunfels, you're only 30 minutes away from San Antonio, and you're 45 minutes away from Austin. But if you live in San Marcos, you're only 30 minutes from Austin and 45 minutes from San Antonio.
Oh,
So like it was in, but New Braunfels is the river tubing capital of the world. That's where the Schlitterbahn is. So all three of them rivers, the Kamal, the Guadalupe, and there's one more, like they all meet up right there.
mhm.
And so they use that river current to that's how you float the river. So I mean, just to think like those are three big rivers.
Yeah.
And to think like they're flooding and all them people lost their lives, that's horrible.
And the kids, like the
Yeah.
children, it's terrible.
Man, that's horrible, so prayers go out.
Yes.
And the cool thing is you seen how the Mexican search teams came up to America to help out.
Really, I didn't see.
Yeah, like it's like not US search teams, Mexican search teams came up. I thought that was pretty amazing of them to, like at that point, them racial barriers didn't matter to them.
They were just ready.
Yeah, they were just ready to do, what's good for a human. It was a human problem.
Right.
So I love that for that community that they have those people.
Mhm.
So that was good. That was good to see. But yeah,
Nat says my big mom or my mama is watching. I need y'all to say hi, big O mom, aka Fatty.
yeah, she's fatty.
Is that what they call her?
Yeah, that's what they call her.
Well, hi, Nat's
Hello, fatty, mama fatty.
And Maya said, "Is my girl Amber behind the camera?" Amber.
No, Amber's down there making shirts.
Yes.
It's my nephew, little Aaron, baby Aaron. I know him as baby Aaron. He might be big Aaron to y'all, but I know him as baby Aaron. But yeah,
Yes, we've been.
shouldn't you be working, Maya? Yeah.
You want to get into?
Yeah, let's jump off
meditation?
into this meditation
Okay, it is July 14th.
all day.
It was good for the skin to touch the earth, and the old people liked to remove their moccasins and walk with bare feet on the sacred earth. The soil was soothing, strengthening, cleansing, and healing. Chief Luther Standing Bear, TETON SIOUX.
Mm-hmm.
Touching the earth, getting grounded, centered. There is magic in touching the earth and feeling her healing power. This is especially healthy to do during a troubling time when our minds are racing or can't stop thinking or are locked onto fear or resentment. When I need to feel free, I can go to Mother Earth. The Mother Earth is full of life and love. She always gives her powers to those who come to her. The Mother Earth is alive. Today, my Great Spirit, let me remember to touch the earth. Let me slow down and live just for today. Let me be gentle, patient, and kind.
I like that.
What do you think?
Thank you, Miss Hot Top Escott with chili and cheese. What comes to mind is how I used to play in the dirt as a child.
Mm.
Like all I needed was like a spoon, and we had like this part of our yard in Thomas where like we dug a hole. So like you're able to like get inside this hole and kind of just play around. Like I would make like this little city,
Mm.
with my cars and my mans, like kind of, just made, and I can remember how grateful I was to like just to be able to do that. Played in the dirt, always played football, always, like, just being a little country boy.
Mm.
And that's one thing about my childhood is, I remember eating the dirt. I remember, like getting the dirt thrown in my eyes, and like all the different things, having mud fights, and like just being a little rowdy boy, because I was the fourth boy in my family.
Wow.
There's my brother Tracer, my brother Eddie, my brother Brandon, and then there's me.
Mhm.
So like, we're all boys. Like my brothers, my older brothers are 10 years older than me. So 10, 9, and 3 years older than me, 3 or 4 years older than me. So it was like full on boy life. Like that's all I remember is just being in the dirt. And then the older you get, like we were poor. So you can't really go and wallow in the dirt as much when you have 5 pairs of clothes.
Yeah.
Probably getting busted up, best shirt, but I remember the older and older I got, maybe because of our clothing situation, I never really got a lot of new clothes.
Mhm.
That I remember, because of how I wanted somebody to think of me, I didn't get in the dirt as much. Like it was a bad thing to be dirty. Like the older you get. And then I remember moving to El Reno, and that whole country boy thing was gone. Like that whole like, the way I think of myself is like I'm a tenderfoot today. Like
Uh,
watching me walk across a rock driveway or something. Oh, like, and whenever I was a kid, man, I never even wore shoes till I had to go to school.
yeah.
Like, and I remember like just the innocence and just being able to be who I wanted to be in the dirt. And then as I get older, and like I can't even think of the last time like I actually, like like when you go to ceremony and stuff, like you always sit on the ground.
Mhm.
Like you're always able to ground, and but I mean, other than that, there's really not a lot of that going on unless I'm sitting in a teepee, unless I'm sitting in a lodge.
Yeah.
Like outside of that, man, like and it's free.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't cost anything to go outside and ground yourself. And there's, like and when I think about it, when I'm in prayer, and I think about like where my mindset is and the different feelings that I feel when I'm able to ground myself, when I'm able to sit down on the ground, I always feel like I'm trying to be as humble as I can be.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember like where I come from. I come from that dirt, and it's like, I had a good friend tell me one time, like if I just went and got a random scoop of dirt, from anywhere,
Mhm.
just a random scoop of dirt. He said, and I fed it, and I like I gave it sunlight. I gave it everything that it needed. I never disturbed it. I just held on to it. Like it's the most important thing in my life. Like I just want this dirt. He said it'll like it'll create life on its own. Something out of it will grow, grass, or what I mean, like it will produce life. And he was like, that's the power of the creator. Is that it comes, like that sunlight hits that, and it feeds that dirt, and it feeds like Mother Earth, and like that connection, of the two things, the big things in my life,
Right.
and it produces life. He's like, that's how powerful dirt is.
Mhm.
And it really made me think about it. And I was just thinking, like, he said, all the good spirits come from the dirt. That's where all the good spirits are in the dirt. And I started thinking about it like, man, if I got a white glove and I walked around this office and I just, especially around Mingo's desk, like, and I swipe my finger, I would find dust.
Mhm.
And then it's just thinking like, man, God is everywhere. Mother Earth is everywhere.
It's true.
It's, that's how I think today. Those are the thoughts that come to mind. Those are like the way that I feel about, grounding, and, I don't take advantage of it enough.
Mhm.
For some reason, I put it in my head that dirt is bad. Like, I guess I growing up poor, you want to protect everything that you have,
Yeah.
and even though I'm not like dirt poor, but I have a very humble abode. Like, I'm not over here balling, but I'm not going without either.
Right.
But like, to think like, man, today is a great way for, and it's free to go outside, take your shoes off, man, just go walk in the grass.
Mhm.
A couple weeks ago, I don't think I put on my moccasins, but maybe 5 or 6 different times. I put on my moccasins, and and I don't know, even that, like my feet would start sweating in them, and then when my feet start sweating, that leather's so new that it makes my feet look white, like they're all ashy. Like, and I just that's what just kept going through my mind. Like, I want to take these things off. So
Mhm.
every time we walk to the bathroom or something, I'd take them off.
Really?
Like I didn't, and like I like being on the ground. Like, it makes me feel more centered, more focused.
Mhm.
So that's all I got.
I like that. Yeah. I like how you said that, like, it's free. Like, it's literally free healing. Um, if you're feeling bad, like I was yesterday, taking that step outside into the sun helped me immediately. And there's this spot in the driveway at my mom's, like when the sun's setting, it's just like perfect where the sun's not like beaming on you, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not also behind the house yet. And sometimes me and Josie will literally just lay in the driveway and soak it in. And like, I don't know, there's something about it. As a mom, I have been like not wanting Josie to get her shoes dirty, and like that's just a whole thing for me to keep her shoes clean, keep her clothes clean, and all of that. But I realized when I'm doing that, I'm keeping her from being a child and connecting with the earth the way that she should. And so I let her get dirty now, and I let her ruin her shoes, if you know what I mean. They can be
Yeah.
washed. We can clean them off. But yeah, I don't want to hold her back from experiencing like all the things you talked about, like in your childhood.
Just tell her to take them off.
My cousin was, well, she's weird about her feet, and every kid has their
Get her
things.
flip flops.
Something, but she doesn't mind getting dirty and like being outside, getting sweaty,
For
and like
sure.
that is something that like I had worried about our children, our youth of today, them being able to make those memories and play with those neighborhood kids and all of that. And on my mom's street, she was always worried because there's a million bikes, kids on bikes, and they need to watch out for cars. And I'm like, they do, but this is giving me hope again. You know what I mean? Seeing these kids outside,
Yeah,
it's giving me hope. Um, I don't know. There's many ways to connect. We
for sure.
when there's a full moon, we go outside and take a full moon bath. And
Well, at least you bathe.
yeah, always. I don't like to get dirty today either. Like, I'm weird about it, but I have learned and worked on enjoying time outside. I think that that's important.
For sure.
This meditation was just beautiful, touching the
It
earth,
was.
getting grounded, centered. There's magic in touching the earth and feeling her healing power. Like that just makes me question so much about what is out there. You know what I mean? Um, Connecting with. No, I'm not even gonna go into that. I was gonna go into something else.
It's all right.
No, that's all I have.
No,
on
you
the
go ahead and you get into it.
meditation.
Do we have any more comments, Mr. Sleeper? Baby Aaron.
Natalie said, Andrea Alexander and I both create dirt. Ha ha ha.
You got to speak more into the mic.
We can't hear you.
Just country.
Yeah,
That's why I like to eat the potato peels on a baked potato or in my fried potato.
for sure. You taste the dirt.
Mm.
Dave said,
He said, what?
With a lot of M's.
That's that.
Oh.
Maya said, tell Amber I miss her for reals.
Okay, I will. She's downstairs working.
No, she's up here now.
Is she?
Yep.
Maya misses you.
She's shouting you out.
Amba.
Join the couch.
Yeah.
You gotta crawl under the table though. No, just kidding.
Do we have any more comments, Mr. Sleeper?
Amber said, I miss her too.
She answered. I like that. Okay, Amber.
And Cash said, please keep my friend Vita in your prayers. I was in rehab with her in California, but yesterday she took her own life.
Mm.
And especially when you need your family and they turn their backs on you.
Man, sorry to hear that. That's too bad, man.
You and your friend will definitely be in our prayers.
For sure.
And thank you for or I'm glad that this feels like a safe space, you know, for you to share things like
Yes.
that.
You know, I have a little bit of experience, you know, going through that ordeal. You know, and actually it's coming up. As a matter of fact, it'll be like in 8 days. July 22nd of 2016, my 14-year-old son took his own life. You know, and you know, I definitely know what that feeling is, you know. I know what that I know you know where my mind was when all that happened. You know, and I know how that affected me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You know, so my prayers are with her family, and you know, for everybody that you know, that everyone that was touched by, you know, such a tragedy. But you know, hopefully everyone can come together and celebrate her life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was one thing that really picked me up was my friends and family who were willing to carry that load with me. You know, like I don't know, like it was something about I didn't want I got tired of people coming up to me and crying. You know, like I don't know, like I got tired of people coming up to me and crying, and you know, it felt so good to me when people would come up and shake my hand and be like, "You know what? I knew your son and he was he was a good young man."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like
to remember.
yeah, like I didn't, you know, like I mean, and I also get it, you know, everyone mourns different.
Yeah.
You know, everyone mourns different. And, you know, I never got mad at anybody like, "Oh my god, get up." You know, like you know, I would embrace them and, you know, cry with them and, you know, but yeah, going on, that was in 2016, you know. So, you know what, going on 9 years?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
going on 9 years, you know, coming up on the July 22nd. So, you know, also, you know, my granddaughter's birthday is on July 19th. You know, and that was my grandma's birthday.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's really cool.
You know, that was my granddaughter and that's my grandma's. You know, so I mean, I think there's some sort of significance to when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and then my daughter, you know, my daughter Penelope, her birthday is on the 30th
Of July.
July 30th. So, you know, this coming weekend, we'll be celebrating my granddaughter's birthday. And, you know, I don't dread that day on the 22nd,
Mhm.
but I also, don't really look forward to it. But I also understand that maybe I don't need to know why it had to happen. Like I just know like the experiences that I had from that
Right.
and the strength that I had to build from that,
Mhm.
like kind of made me who I am today in a weird way. So but I completely understand, how you're feeling and what you're going through. So my prayers and condolences go to you and her family. So, better days are ahead. I can promise you that.
Yes. I'm gonna read this or
Okay.
Aaron, do you want to read the comments
In the mic.
into the
Say
mic?
it with your chest. Go the other way. Yeah, all the
Start
way at the bottom.
start with safe space.
Haho, this is my safe space. Cash said.
Mm.
Cash said, a year ago, I tried to take my own life, but I picked myself back up and started to pray because I have kids and I can't leave them like that.
Definitely. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
I'm sorry for your loss. My condolences. Bo said, it's good to have this place as a safe place. I'm thankful to Wellbriety. It saved me 9 years ago when I was sunk into depression so hard. And yes, kind of thought came in and out of my head. I'm thankful I reached out and here I am still sober.
Mm.
Thank you for
Thank you
sharing
for
that.
sharing that, sis. Appreciate that.
Cash said, I would love to come tell my story. I'm 2 years clean off of fentanyl and heroin.
Oh, hey. All
Wow.
right. We'll definitely look at that. We'll definitely look at that.
Mhm.
Anna said, Natalie Harjo, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Mr. Baby Aaron Sleeper. We
And
appreciate that.
Dave said, "Can we get a shout out to South Coast?"
Always willing to give
Yes.
a shout out to my peeps at South Coast Behavioral in Oklahoma City. Part of my world is over there.
Mhm.
Part of my world, and I completely trust what they're doing over there. You know, when when my baby said she needed help, that was the first place that came to mind.
Yeah.
Was just knowing that Justin Evans was associated with them, because that's who I called when I needed help.
Mhm.
And then I know my boy Dallas, he's from El Reno. He runs the facility.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of my dogs. Like we go back like four flats on a Cadillac,
Oh my god.
I mean, that's the homie, that's the bro. Always been, always will be, even though I called him a Karen last time, but he's really not. I just was saying that because he likes to stir the pot,
Oh.
you know.
I see.
And then, Shannon, Miss Shannon works over there. And, I shared something today, and
Sorry.
Joe shared something, about the Wellbriety. We're trying to get more people certified, and she said, let me know how I can help.
Wow.
And she was, she treated me good when I was there, and all the techs, and especially all the clients. You know, I of course, I found that's where my journey began, was in rehab, right?
Mhm.
Detox rehab, but I gotta say, what really did it for me is working a 12-step program.
Yes.
That is what really, really brought recovery home. Because they say this sickness is centered in our mind. And the drugs and alcohol were only relieving the symptoms of what was going on up here.
Mhm.
And if you're not working a 12-step program, and you're just there taking up space. I mean, and you're, like you got to be willing, what does willing mean to me? It means that I'm gonna attend every meeting I can.
Yeah.
And not only am I going to attend, I'm gonna take part.
Mm.
I'm gonna speak whenever, I get an opportunity.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have an open mind. When you open up your mind, you open up your heart. And you kind of get to you may be flooded by these emotions that you've been trying to run from for so long.
Absolutely.
But having emotions only makes you human. So my brother Dave, I can really appreciate what he's doing over there. If there's a man who has overcome the obstacles in his life, and he realized that nobody was ever holding him back but him.
Mm.
And for him to do the work that he's doing today, facilitating these groups, and I completely trust them with my baby. And just because Barry got sober doesn't mean the rest of the world falls in line, right?
Right.
So one of the things that I do have to admit, when I got to rehab, I wanted to take advice from other people that had the same amount of days that I did.
Mm.
And I want to recommend that when you're having trouble, you go find somebody that has some spiritual laws and spiritual principles already set in place in their life.
Absolutely.
Because if you go in there and you're asking somebody for advice that has the same amount of days that you have, or you're showing out for these people, then give yourself some time to process what's actually going on.
Yes.
Leanna. As my baby, I love her. And the cool thing about Leanna is, man, when she was a little girl, I'm talking when she just learned how to talk,
Mm.
she learned how to say, like, I love you.
Oh.
And she would come and just at random, just be walking by me, minding her own little business. And she would always come and grab my leg and just be like, Daddy, I love you.
Oh.
And it used to, like, man, like it was just such a daddy daughter thing.
Mm.
I don't know if she ever did that to any of her other dads, but
I didn't know if I was allowed to laugh at that.
but that's my baby.
Yeah.
And I always got to give South Coast a shout out. So big props to what they're doing over there. I really appreciate you all.
I would like to go back and visit sometime.
Definitely.
That's pretty cool. And I know that Leanna's in good hands.
She is. I
in
have
God's hands too.
I have complete faith.
Yeah.
Complete faith. That I pray that she finds a solution over there.
Mm.
And like, since I've that's one of those things where, since I've been in my addiction and then I got sober, I kind of lost that connection. You we all know what happens when you're trying so hard to get that back. And I feel like, I pray that when she comes home, this is the connection that we'll have.
Yeah.
And everyone's probably like, that's your dad and you were still like, but like, I don't follow my kids around, and I don't
They're
like
adults now.
yeah,
what
like,
can you do?
if she choose, because we have these talks, and she's like, quit talking to me like you're on a podcast.
Did she really?
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what, this is actually the way that I talk. Like, this is actually who I am today.
Yeah.
I just don't think she ever realized it, because I've always just been that joking, always got something funny to say, like but when it comes to recovery, like I really take that serious.
Mm-hmm.
And but hopefully, I'm just, maybe just thinking out loud. She could just be like, hell no, but you just never know. She wants to hear about recovery from anybody but me.
Mm-hmm.
which I get.
I could see how I mean,
Yeah.
like when my family approached me, like they were all crazy. You know what I mean? Not me. I didn't have any kind of problem, but they did.
My parents couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah. And so, and honestly, like thinking back on my life, that like loss of respect for my mom, I lost that when I was like 14
Yeah.
for anything that she could have told me.
Oh yeah.
You know? I don't know if that's part of me being an alcoholic and me going down the path that I did go down or what, but everything happened for a reason. I have mad respect for my mom today. I hope
Yeah.
she's watching right now. She might be, she might not be.
Hey, Anna.
But on July 1st, she had 2 years of sobriety.
Wow, that's cool.
And
Congratulations.
she posted on Facebook about it being like 730 days, and I thought she meant July 30th. So I didn't even tell her, like,
That's not a year yet.
happy birthday. I don't know. Anyways, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of the changes that she's making.
Definitely.
Life is good and fun and stable now, and we share a lot of love whenever.
Y'all went to New York together.
Yes,
That's pretty awesome.
we did. We had to share a bed for the first time since I was like 12.
Aww.
I don't know why that's weird. Like I don't know. That's weird.
You just made it weird. But
It was fine. We
that's
had
cool.
a great time. We
That's cool.
bonded a lot, and like navigating through New York together. It's like, you know, your mom has the answers, right? Like your mom has all the answers, but in New York she didn't. So like we had to like
kept looking at her.
Yeah, like
Where do we go?
And she's looking back at me the same like with the same face.
The same face.
And I'm like, girl, I don't know. We gotta figure this out though. We were
Google
lost
Maps.
a few times, and yeah, I don't know. It was
That's
a great
cool.
time. We have a very busy week here. We will be at camp
Camp
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
Oklahoma City. 10
So
to 2.
who's all going and who's all staying? Who's going to speak? Me and Darian's gonna just drop off a case at Oklahoma City office. New harm reduction site in Oklahoma City.
I'll be bumming a ride.
Oh yeah, we got to go to Watonga and speak at a youth nutrition camp. So I'm basically going and be like, I used to love crack. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh
You know
my
what I used to do for crack? Okay. So yeah, we have a full week. Tomorrow we're gonna still have the outreach out there at Second Chance.
Second Chance Thrift
Store.
at MacArthur
And 23rd.
and 23rd. Our
So
usual spot, as long as it's not flooded. I think they had to be in the front.
yeah, they had to be in the front last time.
But
But yeah, you know, we'll be doing harm reduction supplies. You know, they'll be doing AIDS and syphilis testing. You know, they'll be providing, you know, maybe some hygiene, there'll be different products for the unhoused population.
Mhm.
And you know, and for, you know, maybe you need the products, you know, we're not afraid to give them to you. So, you know, it's always a good experience. It's our chance to, you know, work as peers in that community. And, you know, if you ain't been tested, come on, and you just never know, you know.
might as well.
Might as well.
It's incentivized. There's
Yeah.
incentives.
Yes, there are incentives if you come and get tested. So, you know, come and check it out. You know, 23rd and MacArthur at Second Chance Thrift Store.
We have
tomorrow.
a lot of comments, but it's really just Dave and Tim Wolftongue just arguing in the comments.
I gotta hear this.
Oh my god. Okay. Aaron, scroll up a little bit, will you? No, there's more than just that, but that's like popping out. Anna Givens, they shouted you out. LOL is what Nat said.
Yeah, Fatty, we shouted you out, Mama Fatty.
Tim said programming out in Fountain Valley, nautical wellness, West Coast living. That's in Cali, right?
Yeah. I used to live in Fountain Valley.
Okay. So Dave says, someone tell Tim Wolftongue to send me back that 20 on Cash App. Wait, it gets better. Tobias says, good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning, brother. Good morning.
Tim said 4 flats and a quack on a quack. Earl Plumley says, shout out to everyone. Hope you all have a good day. Get baby Aaron out of his shell.
I know, right? See, even your Uncle Earl knows. Need you to stand up and start beasting. Nah, Aaron's man, he's himself when he's around his homies. I've seen him throw his homies around in the pool before.
Earl says dive in 1 p.m. Sunday, G-Town.
I hope for sharing that, brother. Yeah, in G-Town, over there in Gary, at his mama's house, they go and sweat, so if you get the opportunity, it's always a good invite. They always, my brother Earl, man, he's a hell of a guy, man, and he's definitely one of the real ones. So thank you for sharing that, brother.
Tim said, Dave, that was from that dub you owed me long time ago. And Randy says Dave Levi still owes everybody. And Theta says, I'll be back tomorrow if I pass my strep test and my COVID test.
No.
Feel better. I feel bad. I brought the sickness in.
Nah, it wasn't you.
It's just everywhere.
Yeah. And nobody knows what Theta really be up to.
Well, me and Theta, I just
kidding, sis.
Registered what you said. Me and Theta share like snacks and stuff. She'd be like, "You want some?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Feeding you? You's feeding her? She's driving.
Might have to. We're on the road a lot. Oh my gosh. Aaron, will you? Is there? I feel like, is that it? Can you scroll down? Scroll up.
Oh yeah, we got to shout out Ellis County. Yeah, I got to shout out to the inmates over there at Ellis County. Hopefully Cassandra gave y'all some good variety today. And hopefully the crew will be back next week? The original crew? Well, it's Shayna, Ron, and Cassandra, right? And then Mingo and Theta. So the crew, well, I don't know what the hell Mingo be up to anymore. He don't even care about us anymore. But I know Theta should be back. If she behaves and quit doing what she's doing and gets better. And then, do you go to
jails? No, I do not. I have not went yet, but I would like to.
You're going.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully the crew. So shout out to the inmates over there. They get to watch us on their little tablets, and hope you all are. Hope you ain't getting shook down. Hopefully everybody's abiding by the rules. 3 hots and a cot. In Oklahoma, that's hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's actually easy to end up there, but got to give a shout out to the Ellis County inmates. Our well-variety participants. So that I think that's great that we get to take those. Because it's a BIA. That's where it's part of they bring inmates from Arizona, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, like all these different reservations. Mm-hmm. It's like a holding place for them. So they get to come from all these different reservations, and then we get to take Wellbriety to them. So I think, and from my understanding, that's why Wellbriety was started.
Really? Just to go into jails?
Like when you watch the early Don Coyas 12-step videos, mm-hmm. He's in a women's prison.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was the thought behind taking this program, behind the walls. So, I like that. That's pretty cool that, I don't get to be a part of it. I still got warrants. So,
Man, gotta get those taken care
Yeah,
of.
I'm trying. One of these days. But what else do we got?
I think we're gonna do the announcements.
Oh yeah. I guess we're gonna start the announcement again. Go ahead. I'm done.
No, you had it all down,
I
right?
know. All right, all right, show him how to do the announcements.
Yeah,
boss.
so just click on the first one that says talk space. There you go.
There we go. Talk space. I ain't done this one in forever.
Ages 13 and up.
13 and up. It's a free online therapy. Forget trying to go to IHS, forget trying, not saying like you can't get there, but they're backed up like maybe 2 or 3 months to be able to get in for like an intake appointment.
Right.
That didn't even really got anything to do with the therapy.
And you have to go to Clinton.
Yeah.
unless
So,
you're in that area,
this is trying to avoid that. And these are real certified therapists. It's online counseling, deals with grief, trauma, codependency, relationship problems. Grief, there's so many topics that are covered by these therapists, and you get to pick your own therapist. You can be matched with the therapist in minutes. It's a online app. You download the app, you put in, there's different steps on this flyer. You can scan that QR code and it'll take you straight to the page, and where it says organization, you put in restore, and that's how you get this thing for free. But take advantage of it, man. Take advantage of it. We have quite a few spots to fill up still. I'm talking like hundreds of spots. So, go ahead and take advantage. Free online therapy. So, shout out to Talkspace. Go to the next one.
To stay up to date on our tour activities, text tour 888-580-4TOUR.
Photo.
Yeah.
For tour. And it keeps you current with what we're doing as a program, as a Gourd clan, and it just keeps you in the loop with our meetings, time, dates, locations, all of that.
Changes, anything. So we have recovery housing. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, it has to be an OCAR certified home. We have if you're not sure if your sober living is on there, go to ocar.org and it gives you a list. There's like over 100 names of the sober livings that are OCAR certified, and that was the only way we were able to get this grant. Is it had to be an OCAR certified homes. Unfortunately, Oxford houses are not OCAR certified. It seems like no matter what, the sober living will always tell them, no, we are OCAR certified.
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually not, because Oxford is a peer led. Like they vote each other in and they vote each other out.
Right.
So like in OCAR certified, there's certain requirements that we have to abide by to be able to get this grant and approved, so we can provide 2 months of rent, two $500 payments. And maybe you use them all up at once, or maybe but either way, we can do it for one person 2 times. Tribal members only. Shine Arapaho tribal members only.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
I know there's a lot of stress getting back into the real world after you get sober. And
definitely.
That is such a blessing. Okay, our meetings we have Monday nights, Mending Mondays, here at 1950 in El Reno, and that starts at 7 o'clock. That's a grief-based meeting.
That'll be tonight.
Yep. Come check that out. On Wednesdays, I lead my women's group, and it's also here at 1950 South Shepherd in El Reno. It will start at 6 o'clock. Sometimes we are blessed with dinner, but most of all, we share a lot of healing and connection. Women only. So it's a safe space to talk about whatever you want.
Do you allow 2 spirits too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. That's awesome.
Thursdays talking circle. That's our open circle with Dave usually. Here at 1950, and it's at 7 o'clock.
Mm.
I really like going out of our reflections book.
Yeah.
The last few that I was got to attend. So yeah, it's a really nice meeting.
Mm.
Friday nights we have a men's meeting here at 1950. Also, check that out. 7 o'clock.
Mado.
And this is your time to shine. Our Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes Department of Health Community Wide Family Wellness Day.
Family wellness.
Dang, I had to read the whole thing.
I know, right?
Could've just said
I can't even read it.
Day.
But so last week was in Watonga, and it was from 11 to 6. So this week it'll be in Clinton, Oklahoma, at the ERC from 11 to 6. They'll be providing dental will be there, with the fluoride and I think teeth cleaning. And then you can come and get a physical for sports, so all of a lot of native athletes out in the Clinton area. And then you can come and get your school school supplies for any native. You don't have to be CNA to come and get school supplies from JOM. And then we'll be there. Other programs, all of DOH will be there. Health education, prevention.
They were
think
given shots too, so some medical stuff.
Oh yeah.
too.
There's the nurses will be there.
Yeah.
So you'll definitely come and get your kids caught up. Come get them caught up on their shots. Come and get them caught up with the with the dentist. It's a great opportunity. It's a good ideal, and diabetes wellness was there. Education was there. They had a little bouncy house last time. There's just different things. We're just trying to. I believe they provided a meal. They provided a sack lunch, which is a meal, to us. But it'll be from 11 to 6 in Clinton this next Friday, and then the Friday after that, it'll be here at the Department of Health at 1950 South Shepherd from 11 to 6 in our little meeting room back here. And then after that, it'll be the Friday after that, it'll be in Concho at the ERC. So all from 11 to 6, same services, same people will be there every Friday. So, come and check us out. We can't wait to see you there.
Yes. So, yeah, the next 3 Fridays will be, that's where we'll be.
Yeah, that's where we'll be.
We have our meet and greet event. We will share lived experiences, our mission, more info about our program, a Q&A, and a meal together. And this is for the newest members,
the new hires,
our tour team.
So who all will it consist of?
So it'll be me, Theta, Des, Ron, and Shayna.
Resi Desi?
And also, I just want to share more about like our circles, the support that we provide. That's what I'm passionate about in my recovery.
Our services.
Our services. So yeah, come out here, hear a little bit about us, why we want to work for TOR, why we enjoy it so far, how we've grown.
She said so far. Kind of sounds a little.
Oh my gosh. I might be like getting a little bit bullied today, guys.
Man, you've been gangster all day. You've been extra gangster all day, just dropping everybody in the grease.
Had to. We'll have supper at 6 and speaker panel at 7. We will be live streaming on our Facebook and our YouTube also.
You can be aggressive that day too.
Yeah, super aggressive.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yes.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I know what Shayna's voice sounds like.
Really?
She's so unfiltered. She's terrible.
She's pretty unfiltered.
It'll be interesting, I can't wait. But what else?
And we will have Tradition Expedition in 2 weeks
In Gary.
in Gary at Gary ERC.
From noon to 5. Noon to 5. That Monday we will be doing gourds and shawls. Skirts and gourds. Skirts and gourds, and then Tuesday we'll be doing
Shawls, crafts, hand drums.
shawls and hand drums, and then Wednesday will be the culture kitchen,
Yes.
which I believe they'll be coming out to make a traditional meal, maybe bologna sandwich or something. Yeah.
Spam sandwich.
Yeah, sandwich.
Um,
Bologna sandwich.
We're gonna have it. It looks like we'll have talking circles then.
That'll be cool. Yeah, like we're trying to figure out a way to get our two programs that we all got certified in with, the Sons of Tradition and the Daughters of Tradition.
Mhm.
We're trying to build up an interest in how we can apply these to our communities.
Yes.
It's kind of like going into trying to help our kids understand like why addiction is so prevalent in our communities. Why is it easier for kids to go get high and drunk than it is to
Talk
stay
about
sober
things.
and
Yeah.
talk about it? Like I don't know, we're just trying to provide that atmosphere. Like we just want to see some healing in our youth.
Mhm.
And I feel like our youth have provided like a great example of how kids can express themselves here lately.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, I. Oh my god. Here goes the bells.
We know who that was. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I just want to say that getting the chance to work with our youth, just the youth that's working for Dreams this summer, and like when I was actively doing my youth talking circle, um, they're
Responded?
talking, yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
like
responded.
I honestly thought I was gonna have to like come up
Clams.
with activities
Yeah.
and different games and
No,
have
they
them
stepped
write
up,
things
huh?
down. They used their voices today, and
That's
so
awesome.
we want to just continue to grow that and see that be the change.
Yeah, because it seems like, like Aaron's always been my nephew, right? Baby Aaron's always been my nephew. But like Patrick, Amber, like I don't know, like they'll always be my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no matter what, like always got to dap them up. Like what's up? What's up, homie?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like how you been? Like I feel like I can catch up with them like that now.
Yeah.
Which is like, and once you make a friend in me, you always have a friend for life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just the type of person that I am.
Their consistency in coming to work is
Yeah.
great for their ages too. When I was their age, like if I had a job, my friends were like, "Hey, we're gonna like go shopping," and be like, "Yeah, I have a flat." So like you know what I mean? Like it was.
And I'd be
that
talking about my
simple.
bike.
Yeah. It was that simple for me to like
Yeah.
avoid my responsibilities, and so seeing them show up on time.
For sure.
There was one of our workers pulling in at like 7:55 right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, girl."
Yeah. Yeah, they're great
So,
kids, they really are.
yes.
And I also got to give them a shout out because they've been, packing up our boxes, our harm reduction boxes.
Getting them.
And since they've been doing that, I know 45 people. Wait, we have a bigger number. So they've been packing up our boxes and making sure our orders are getting filled. Like it's been their sole responsibility. Like when we ain't got nothing for them to do, go save some lives. Like, and I don't think they quite have grasped the ideal about the impact that they're having like on our community. But they have actually saved over 40 lives.
Wow.
53 lives have been saved since they've been packing our boxes. That scared the
I'm sorry.
64. 64 lives have been saved because of our youth workers packing up our boxes and making sure that they get shipped out. So that's pretty awesome. These kids are saving lives. Like that's amazing.
Yes,
That's amazing. That would be something that I would carry with me for the rest of my life.
absolutely.
So I'm very proud of my two nephews and my niece. And then my nephew Ronnie downstairs. My Sagi. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch these
Great.
kids. Take a positive step in their life.
Hmm.
But do we have any more comments before we get off of here? Because we've been on here for like what, 2 hours?
An hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Tommy says, "Good afternoon, guys. Hope
Good
you
afternoon,
guys
brother.
have a blessed day."
I hope.
Bo says, "Yes, it comes from the men's prison and women's where it needs
Yes.
to be taken again."
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Leah says, "Good afternoon, guys."
Good afternoon, Leah. Seen you got a new husband.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. That's what makes me laugh is Quentin's comments. Get her, Quentin. Get her.
Do you have anything? I have an ending statement.
No, go ahead. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. And just a little reminder that other people's opinions of you is their business, not yours. So,
Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Well, I believe, like she was saying, like, share, follow, tell your mammy about us. And we will see you tomorrow, maybe.
maybe.
But go ahead and hit in. I hope.
Stop!